Wow, what is going on? Talk about having life is lifing. Check out this lady's story. She thought she had a place to live, and then at the last minute, after driving 10 hours, she finds out you don't. Listen to what she has to say.
Don't know why. We're heading over there to sign the lease and pay the first of last month's rent, and we were told it's not happening. We have no idea why. Maybe a blessing in disguise, but nonetheless, I drove 10 hours to get here yesterday. I was really proud of myself for that. You know, if God has a plan, I need to know what the plan is. I'm not gonna lie, I'm running out of faith. I have nowhere to stay tonight. I am completely, utterly homeless. I'm out of money. I didn't even want to say that because I'm 57 years old. Should be planning my retirement, should be looking forward to my golden years, and this is it. You can go watch my story. I shared a little bit about it.
57 years old, no money. So it made me think, so why did she drive 10 hours? So unless she spent her last money to get to that location, and maybe it was supposed to be, a place of help. Because if you thought you had a place and you were going to sign, then it tells me, she said she's going to pay what first and last month. At the last minute, maybe somebody else got the spot, or maybe they sometimes too, these leasing places, what they'll do, I've heard, one lady said they'll just go online and just check the county records where you live, where'd you live last. So it makes me wonder if they check the county records or a credit and decide, you know what, it's not worth the risk, or maybe something happened with the place. But 57 years old, she drove 10 hours thinking she had a place, only to find out she didn't, and she has nowhere to go for the night.
Maybe a blessing in disguise, but nonetheless, I drove 10 hours to get here yesterday. I was really proud of myself for that. You know, if God has a plan, I need to know what the plan is. I'm not gonna lie, I'm running out of faith. I have nowhere to stay tonight. I am completely, utterly homeless. I'm out of money. I didn't even want to say that because I'm 57 years old. Should be planning my retirement, should be looking forward to my golden years in this.
And the golden years are spent being homeless. The golden years, this happens to a lot of people. And if you're in your for older workers, I saw a report, they said, oh, of course I've been when they haven't been hiring people who are 50 and older. Then it's like, oh, now 40. Then it was like, oh, Gen X can't find a job. So Gen X can't find a job. People in their 40s can't find a job. People in their 50s can't find a job. What's the common denominator? Nobody can find the job. And people get laid off. Same things happen. Keep looking and looking. Okay, something's going to come up. Something's bound to turn. You don't want to give up hope. And then nothing does. And in the meantime, what money you do have, just blowing through it. That is why I remember seeing one lady, she had a very nice home and she worked for the post office. And this was way before things got bad, but they were having some issues there and people were, getting laid off, what have you. This is a long time ago. And she was like, yep, she had a beautiful home. I was like, wow, they must pay pretty good. Upstairs, downstairs, nice home. It was like new built from the ground. So I'm sure this was going to be like her dream home. And so she ended up getting laid off. And she said one thing that she would not do, which I totally understand. She said, what I'm not going to do is go through my retirement to save this house. And it was a beautiful home. She said on the news, I am not going to go through my retirement to save this house. And I get it, because if she was paying, let's say at the time maybe 3,000 a month or so for that house, You'll go through everything and still might lose it. A girlfriend of mine, her house note is $3,500 a month. Okay, she's going on 2.5 years and had not gotten back to the six-figure income that she is used to. So guess what happened? Her parents, they paid the house note for an entire year. She bought a brand new home, oh, just wonderful. So $3,500 a month times 12 plus the utilities now. So the house note alone is $42,000 in 1 year. What her parents paid. Then she was able to juggle a little bit of money, pay the utilities. They were still paying that house note. Year two, the parents still dipped in. So $42,000 times two, that is $84,000. And that money's going toward the interest. My thing was, you know, it probably would have been better for her to leave the house and they could have had the $84,000 in their account. Well, guess what's happened? Updates. They've already put in $84,000 of their own money into paying her house note for the past 2 years. Again, $3,500 a month. So they're already the parents, they're already in for $84,000. And so know what they did? They realized, oh, we just can't have a loss of $84,000. So guess what happened? Again, if you, as I said before, said again, if you cannot strategize, and you probably won't be able to survive. The parents then decide to go ahead. They leased out their own home because they had their home, which I think is about, if not paid for, pretty much close to it. So what the parents did, they worked together. They didn't want her to lose the house. Again, at this point, they're invested in it too because they have help. They put in $84,000. So what the parents decided to do, they decided to go ahead and they leased out their home. And so she does work, but it's not a good paying job at all. She might be making, I hate to tell you, she might be making about 30% of what she had before. 30% of her prior income. So what happened? The parents, they went ahead, moved in with her, and so they leased their house out and they're still making the notes. See, those are people that know how to pull together. It's either get out real early. If they had done that, they would still have $84,000 in their pocket. So they're playing the long game, sit as an investment, and that's a long way to go. And I think she's looking at she been in that house for maybe going on 3 years, and it's like, wow, talk about life handing you, just taking a turn. You sitting up here, you working on a very very good paying job, man. I making sometimes $10,000 $12,000 a month, and then all of a sudden it just snatched from underneath you. And check this out, she had just bought the house, and what are the odds when she buys a house, it's like maybe 2 months later to get laid off. It's like, you gotta be kidding me, this can't be. After she's in the house for about 2 months, she said that's when she got laid off. Talk about life is lifing. So I thought our house note was 3,000 a month. They said no, it had went up because you know how the insurance went up, and also the property taxes. So it's like from 3,000 a month, you got 3,500. So 3,500 times 24 months, the person paying, that's $84,000 into that house. And the only way for them to stay was for the parents to move in, pay a house note, and go ahead and lease theirs out. That's people working and pulling together. And with some people, people get hurt so much. Some people, people burn bridges. With some people, you want to do that and you just can't. You can't take a chance. That's one thing. When you're dealing with people that have burned bridges, they've hurt other people over and over again. Then when they holler, "Oh, uncle, I need help. Somebody help." Sometimes no one's coming. Some of you all think about it. It's 57 years old. Her looking for a job. Good luck. Retirement, that's part of the scheme. That's part of the American dream. It's not real. And this is what will happen to a lot of older workers. They're going to They'll have a home, and that's, trust me, that savings and that 401k, even if you sit on 100,000, man, that'll go real fast. Trust and believe that. Oh, well, I got 200,000. That'll go real fast. Again, people have to strategize, because if not, it's just hard to survive. So again, in your 50s can't find a job. Just read an article that said people in their 40s getting laid off. Okay, Generation X, they can. Then okay, just be realistic. So nobody can find a decent paying job that can pay a livable wage. Is it too much to ask for? One job, not two, three jobs. One job, not gigs. One job that has health insurance that can pay a livable wage. Maybe you can pay your bills to go out to a restaurant. And I don't mean 2 for 20, not knocking it, but a nice restaurant. Can't even do that. Restaurants are folding. Why? Because people can't even afford groceries. They can't afford the food. You can forget trying to go out. And this lady, I think she's slowly having a mental breakdown. Slowly having a mental breakdown. Because then when it really sets in, so you drove 10 hours, so that means you're going to have to go ahead and start over from wherever you are, start over there. And people still discriminate if you're homeless. You better get a P.O. box and use that street address at the post office. Whatever it is, P.O. box, to put P.O. box. What's your address? 123 Main Street, suite, number so and so. Because people discriminate if you're homeless. I've heard of people going to work every day clean. They they saw them. Hey, are you living in your car? Get fired, which is crazy to me. But every dog has its day. So people that operate that way, you have no compassion. What goes around comes around. So she's gonna have to muscle up and trying to find her a job somewhere where she is, and maybe just stay in the car. You drove 10 hours to get there. You're going to have to muscle up and try to find some kind of job wherever she is. And that's when people start to have a nervous breakdown, depression. Because why? Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, we've been in a recession. They don't want to say the word. We've been in a recession. Anyway, let me know what you think. She is not the first, won't be the last. Too many stories like this here. This is becoming the norm. And where is the help for the American? Looking for a handout? Only hand's going to help you, or the two in front of you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.